I work for City Foursquare, a private consultancy firm that I had in Zambia. So we'll look at e-commerce and see what have been the problems, the regulatory challenges that we are dealing with. What are the hindrances, or what are the opportunities in the regulation to grow e-commerce? I didn't get to meet my panelists, but they're right here, and I'll hand over to a colleague who will take us through. Um, and then when he's done, I'll be back to just moderate through. But I'll just give a hint of what e-commerce is all about. E-commerce is the buying and trading using a computer platform, as you all know. And so we want to look at it and examine it. Why is it important to Africa? We realize that Africa, we are thriving on SMEs, small and medium enterprises. We have become entrepreneurial, and so we all want to sell something. We all need to sell something. So electronic commerce enables us to sell digitally to anyone, anywhere. And I call it an equalizer for the rural area and the urban area. Now we can have catalogs that are electronic, and we have different advantages with the growing of the internet, the availability, and the reliability. There's so much to take advantages of. Local e-commerce platforms are also emerging. Many startups are developing. It's not just eBay and Amazon and all the big buzzwords. Now the Nigerians have their great team in Kenya. There are so many in Zambia. There are many in Tanzania. And they are yet sitting here, more to be born from us here. I think that's why we are here. Maybe we've been having a hitch somewhere. You've been developing, you're a startup, and you want to ask someone who may be sitting here, what can I do, okay? How can I overcome this challenge, and how can I navigate as I go through? There are several challenges because Africa is young, so there are challenges that can kind of slow down the growth of e-commerce. The bank rates, the laws are not yet fully developed. The regulations are not clear. Even if I talk about cross-border, what is allowed, what is not allowed? What are the laws governing the sector? What about country harmonization? We are all coming from economic zones. We come from SADC in the Southern Africa. East African community is very strong and is the big brother of SADC. And there's ECOWAS in the West Africa, which is very strong. So somehow politically, we already have these political zones that need to be translated into economic zones to make sure that we leverage on what's available. And other than that, then we have CROS. We have the COMESA, which is from South Africa, from Namibia and the like, all the way up to Egypt. We are all one economic region, to which Zambia, I think, and Tanzania belongs, I'm not sure, with the COMESA. So are we always going to produce a passport to take the trade to the next country? Or is there a way we can sit back in my shop in my country here in Dar and be able to sell all the nice Urafiki fabric that come to Zambia without the Zambian having to be on that bus? Honestly, this is 21st century, 2023. We should try to contextualize the way we do business so that the business grows. And now there are no jobs for our children, for our grandchildren. This is the way we're going. What can we do to grow this and penetrate Alibaba, penetrate Amazon, write our books and things like that, and be able to put it on Amazon and so on and so forth. So this is what we're looking at. And I'll switch over to my brother and he can pick it up. I'll come back later.
Much appreciated. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? How are you doing? All right. You look amazing. right in front of me. Okay, good. My name is Caleb Muasia. I work for DPO Pay. DPO Pay or DPO Group, as it is popularly known, is the fastest growing payment platform, payment gateway in Africa and the Middle East. We are in over 30 countries in the Middle East and Africa, serving a population of about 120,000 merchants, that is businesses, and offering them e-commerce, offering them um, integrations, offering them all manner of payment gateway solutions. Today, we'll be talking about payment innovations and secure online transactions. And I'm excited about it. Um, we have, can I walk around? Is it okay? Oh, thanks. I feel so cornered when I stand there. All right. So we have quite a number of articles that we can talk about when we speak about e-commerce. We can talk about airlines. We can talk about hotels and hospitality, tourism, the whole bundle of hospitality. We can talk about the retail stores. That is your small supermarket, your small store in the estate or in your neighborhood. But you can also talk about the bigger marketplaces. You can talk about Jumia, talk about Alibaba, talk about eBay. You can talk about your small salon or beauty spa, right? That offers some sort of service or a product that everyone pays for. And all those, believe it or not, qualify for e-commerce, right? As my esteemed sister has mentioned, we are living in an age where, we cannot afford to be limited in terms of space, in terms of the clientele, but we have to go all out to make a lot of money. That's what the digital economy is about. And so it gives me great pleasure to speak to you about payment innovations. And let's get straight into it. So, payment innovations, if you think about the e commerce space, then you would say innovations can, right now, what is currently happening is, let's talk about the market intelligence. Um, right now, there are all manner of solutions in terms of innovation for e-commerce. We can start with the biggest currently, globally, and it has become a channel where a lot of businesses are running to place their orders, to complete transactions, to onboard. We have a very good vendor over here called Beam Africa that onboards SMEs and businesses into the WhatsApp channel, and they're able to start accepting payments. We have businesses that have taken the WhatsApp channel to another level by giving them an option to pay through mobile and through card. That is a solution that is all out there. So what does that really mean? It means that as a business, I don't have to go to great lengths to innovate and come up with a designer, come up with a website, integrate into it and let people download my app. I don't need to come up with a whole solution to fill up people's phones so that they can pay me. Instead, I can still use the same WhatsApp channel they're using for conversations to receive payments and to get my orders. So you can put your catalog there, complete the payment, and it's done. Settlement is done to your bank account. We have QR codes. I think 5 or so years ago, Visa and MasterCard initiated the MasterPass and the M-Visa solutions, right? Well, in Kenya, it didn't really kick off. We tried and pushed and put promotions, but it really was not hugely successful. But then again, perhaps the time was not right. But I know in South Africa, MasterPass is really flying. Right now in Kenya, there's a guideline that was set up by the regulator, Central Bank of Kenya, on the standards that QR codes need to have. And I'm proud to say that, DPO has launched the first QR code that accepts both card and mobile. And that, takes care of Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and of course, your mobile money is Airtel and M-Pesa. We're also piloting in Uganda with about 20 or so merchants, only offering mobile money, MTN and Airtel money. We're piloting in Malawi, offering Airtel money. We are going into your country. We are looking at Hungry Lion as a pilot. And so it's a solution that is going to really transfer. It's really a face-to-face solution. So if you have your expos, you have something you're selling in an expo, you really don't need to carry your hard machine, POS machine. Instead, just go with your tent card or your sticker, like what I've seen for the program. When you scan it, it takes you to the payment, and someone completes the payment. Simple and easy, right? No maintenance. So feel free to engage and talk to your provider, talk to us. I'll be happy to support you on that. Then we also are looking at the next one, SMS and email links. I think this is a solution that a lot of businesses utilize because, again, I don't need to have a website to send you to send you my link to my website or download my application to make a payment to me. If I'm a hotel, I'll simply tell you, hey, your bill is $400, 5 nights stay. You want to pay? Yeah, sure. I'll send you an SMS that has a link to click. You make your payment by card or mobile, and you're done from wherever you are, right? A very simple solution. What we have next is POS. Of course, these ones you know. You know your normal POS. You insert your card, you tap it, you swipe it, put in your PIN or sign, and you're done. But there's also the soft POS, where banks are now leaning towards, because the cost of, after COVID, the cost of chips was inflated, and so everyone ran away from creating equipment or developing machinery. And instead, companies now went to the phones. I simply give you an application that you can tap a card on. You can create a QR code. And the QR code, of course, has mobile and card options. And that you can also add the SDK application into, an existing brand. Say, if I have a Samsung, I'll input my SDK solution into Samsung. So when users buy the Samsung phone, they get the application in there already for free. And so all that is needed is just a merchant who has WhatsApp, of course, has a smartphone, right? Or someone who has Instagram has a smartphone. So they just use their same phone as a POS to accept cards and mobile payments. A very, very, very simple solution. I've seen Absa is doing it. I saw Visa has started doing it in the East African region. So payment service providers, we are right in the thick of things to give solutions to the market. As we said, if a solution is not easily accessible, then it cannot be sellable. The level of smartphones that is in the market is rising by the day. People are buying smartphones all over the place. The mobile money operators have partnered with what do you call them? With the phone manufacturers to have low-end smartphones. So the easier we adopt and take up these kind of solutions, the better for the market, for the businesses, and even for people like us, the PSPs. And then we have the next one, which is quite simple, integrations. So a lot of people, when COVID was starting, everyone went into the websites, and people would open WordPress websites, Shopify websites. Which other one do you know? Wix, another one, Magento, you name it. There was WHCMS, all of them. And they are quick and easy to use. Buy a domain, put in your products in the website that you've bought or the template you've bought. There's a shopping cart that you can that you can buy. So if you go into WordPress, you'll find DPO Pay. Connect to DPO Pay for free, and voila, you can start selling. That's what we call a plugin, But there's also, the guys who are more advanced, they're going to create real websites, customized. They have excellent checkouts. And for that, we offer customized integrations to the payment gateway. So as much as it might be complicated, it also gives a better experience to the buyers. And so you get your conversions are much higher. And finally, wallets. I think all of us have, again, this is quite high end. There are some markets that are not going to enjoy this. If I go to my village, before I get someone who has an Apple phone, I'll really struggle, right? So yes, there's a market for everything. I think one I did not put in there is WeChat. For businesses that really want to tap into the Chinese market, WeChat has over 1.5 billion users. So of course, tapping into such wallets increases your target market, and so you're able to convert more as a business. Right. So I'll now start rushing. For use cases. So before I make up my mind to see which payment innovation I'm going to apply to my business or is going to work in a certain market, I need to look at several things. I'll look at the target market. If I'm working in Nigeria, I'm likely to look at a solution that will cover that market. In Nigeria, believe it or not, Visa, MasterCard are not the big boys. Do you know who's the big boy in Nigeria for card? Anyone take a guess? I'll shock you. Anyone? Is there an award? Okay, I'll tell you, don't worry. In Nigeria, Visa penetration is about 20-25%. Actually, about 20 or slightly lower. MasterCard is at about 30%. They're about. The big boy in Nigeria is called VAV, the VAV card. This is a solution by InterSwitch, one of our competitors, but again, we're in business to work together. So we're working together to accept VAV cards. They control about 55% of the market, of the card market in Nigeria. Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people, and VAV has over 50 million cards in that market. So if I'm really targeting Nigeria, I must have a solution that resonates with the target market, right? It only makes sense that way. In Kenya, of course, you know M-Pesa. We all talk about M-Pesa having over 35 million users. So if you want to do business in Kenya or target the Kenyan population, surely you must accept M-Pesa. If you're talking about Uganda, MTN, Airtel, 50-50%, you surely need to have those two. If you're talking about Zimbabwe, there's a brand new, it's not very old. It's about maybe 5 years old. EcoCash, 3 million people. You know, you're not in business if you don't have that number of people. If you are in South Africa, of course, they have the MasterCard. They have the card solution. They're very strong in South Africa, but they also have bank transfer, a solution called Seed. Seed is a bank transfer option that is instant. So you have to have it. So when you're looking at your solutions, innovations, you look at the target and what resonates with those people. I'll tell you a story at the very end. Ease of access. So in terms of innovations, a lot of us will think about the smartphones. We'll think about, the websites, the apps. But what about those people who do not have smartphones? And there are quite a lot. There are about half in Kenya with a population of 50 million. Half of them do not have smartphones. But they have consuming power. What is the market offering? So in terms of innovation, there are users, there are businesses that have gone the USSD model. And they make tons of money, tons of dollars in a day. Because, it's cheap. I just dial *123#. And I tap into the M-Pesa platform that has 35 million people or wallets, and I complete my payments. Simple and easy. If it is about MPOS, this was a failed project in Kenya. Ease of access was just not there. MPOS was a solution that I have a smartphone, I connect it to a Bluetooth printer, and I connect it to a POS. Then I push the instruction from my phone to the POS. The customer pays, then the printer prints. It was horrible. Epic fail. So you need to just look at the solutions that are easy to access, convert quickly, and be done with the transaction. The next one, this was about reliability. Oh, the MPOS in Kenya failed because it was hugely compromised by the network, by the availability of printers, the cost of getting those printers. Yeah, something, a learning point. Finally, the customer journey. If I'm in a hotel, and we used to do this a lot when there was huge traffic, say I'm at Serena Hotel, I'm the one who's provided the POS solutions or the payment solution. It's 5 o'clock in the evening, all airlines have touched down, so customers, clients are coming into Serena Hotel. I'd find a huge queue of customers who want to check in. And that time it is peak. I think it was between 5 and 8 o'clock, peak time. Everyone is checking in, and you just want the front office staff to be done with the transaction, and guests to check in, they're tired. So if a transaction failed and the front office management or team have to call the bank to verify, it was a horrible experience. Hotels would just keep away your machine. Hey, this one is not working, and that's how you lose your business. So if you're looking into tapping into the business of payments, you have to look for a solution that has a very quick customer journey. That's why payment companies have come up with the tap and go, right? Scan your QR code. If you're in KFC, scan it. Your bill is. We have a solution. We have a not a solution, a bucket of, I think it's called. I forgot the name. It's two wings and two chicken wings and chips. You just know it's $500. You buy it and you're on your way out. The same reason why they have the drive-ins. It's the customer journey that's being made faster, so that the merchants and the businesses can transact more. And once they pay, how does the business confirm the payment? Are they going to have to call someone else to confirm, oh, this customer paid? Yes, they paid. Okay, let them send me the SMS. That is, so retrogressive. Okay, and finally, volumes being transacted. So if I'm looking at a payment solution, I am also looking at how much money is each transaction bringing to the table. If I go to, I think in Tanzania, you have a customer called, not a customer, but a business called Ban Manufacturing. Ever heard of it? They're in the energy space in Tanzania. You live in TZ. You know them? Ah, good. The same like M Copper Solar. These guys who give you a solar solution and you pay in installments every day, something like that. So there's that market, but there's also a market that someone is going to pay for a return flight, Kenya, Joburg, or Nairobi, Joburg, Dar, Joburg, and that cost is not going to be small money. So if your target is huge volumes in terms of cash, then it also means you need to look for a solution that is going to cater for that. That's why cards, for a long time, card payments were the preferred mode of payment for high-end businesses, right? But shock on you, right now mobile money is increasing its limits. In Kenya, I think in Kenya and Rwanda, the mobile money transaction has been increased to about $2,000 per transaction, and what can be held in the phone is about $3,500. In Rwanda, it's reaching about $5,000. So the even the providers are seeing, hey, we're losing out on the big dollar, top dollars, so we have to think fast, increase our limits so that they can make more money. Again, it's a case of percentages, so it's better for all of us. Yes, sir, please. So, in terms of secure online transactions, remember our title is Payment Innovations and Secure Online Transactions. So, that was innovations. In terms of, so this will be very fast. So, let's tap and go, eh? Literally. Secure online transactions. Yeah. Um, okay, just tap, 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 and to go to there. That's it. Okay, you went too fast. There. Good. So there are a number of things that I need to look at as a business if I'm talking about secure online transactions. What are these? Number one, if a customer pays me, I need to be sure that this payment has actually been made. I don't want disputes thereafter. I don't want someone to come and say, hey, I've been double deducted. I want, it's a case of, you guy, I came to your hotel, I paid, you deducted me twice. I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to lodge a complaint of fraud or something, reputational risk. You need to be wary of that. And in terms of, we also need protection from disputes, as mentioned earlier, and losses due to lack of deliveries. I did a small survey about 2 months ago, and one of the reasons why a lot of people do not participate in online transactions or e-commerce is because they fear that I bought on the website, the shoe is size 48, but in reality, the shoe is size something else, or it was really looking like a real chair until it got to my house and it was a toy car or something like that. You know, Huge disappointments. So you want a solution to offer a solution that protects you against lack of deliveries. I saw a let me not mention. I saw a delivery guy who there's a customer who ordered for food, uh, popular in middle class economies, and there was a photo of what you have bought and the journey the food made from the restaurant to your house. There was a stopover somewhere, and the riders ate some of the food, and then what they delivered was a fraction of the amount you bought. So it was really, yeah. I hope that doesn't happen to you. So, but you need to be secure against that. And if such a thing happens, you need to have an option to lodge your complaints and be able to be assisted. And then again, after you have come up with your business and you have done all this online, integrations, you want your money, right? You don't want to be paid and then the money doesn't reach your bank account. So again, safe settlements need to be assured. The next one, again, tap, tap, tap. Thanks. Okay. So that was for the business. Now for the customer, I don't want to load my card in Netflix and then tomorrow they deduct me for, let me not say Netflix. Netflix also has it. So there's a trial period and then there's after trial. If you're not keen, they hit you, right? If you didn't want, that is. If you want, it's okay. So you don't want multiple debits. You also don't want someone to take advantage of your phone number or your details after you've paid with mobile to send you promotions. You guys have that? Oh, I thought it's only I thought it's in our country. Horrible thing. So you want protection from all that. And a lot of mobile money companies have started data minimization, which means that if I pay, my number is 07 something something, what the merchant or the business sees is only a truncated number. So they don't see the full details, which really protects us, right? from promotions. Of course, refund policies, we spoke about that, and fraudsters who come in the name of sellers. Right, finally, so what have we done as a PSP? This is my last slide, second last. Innovations in terms of fraud monitoring. Um, I'm not sure if you know behind the scenes what PSPs do. So I am selling an air ticket. I'm a tour company selling an air ticket Nairobi. Sorry, my reference for Nairobi is default. Accra, Cape Town. And so this guy wants to pay through MTN Ghana or card. But somehow there's someone working behind the scenes called a fraudster who's working so hard to get between the payment gateway, the airline, and the passenger. So they have these robots that keep, trying to charge stolen cards and, mobile money wallets. So that's what PSPs do. They protect you against such attacks. We also have an option where we have made it mandatory to have one-time passwords for every payment. So, of course, for cards, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, it's up to them. Though Visa and MasterCard have tried to force, in some markets, 3DS, the OTP. So when you have OTP here, right? Ah, good. I know in some markets it's not mandatory. But we try to enforce it so that by the time a payment is made, the real owner of the card has validated it. Very key. The same for mobile money. In our payment page, we have a step before the final payment where you put in your one-time password, and then now you go and put in your wallet's PIN. So that helps a lot. Adherence to regulations, 100%. The next one is proper onboarding practices. This is a big topic for another day, where a merchant or a business comes to the bank or to the payment service provider and says, hey, I have this business, I want to start something like Uber. And tell them, oh, you're sure? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. We do the integration, and then later on you discover it was just a fraud. They really were just pulling your leg and harassing customers. So we have to go to the very last person, ultimate beneficiary owner of that company or of the institution, to see whether there are sanctions, number one, whether they are corrupt, whether they are facing court cases because of fraud, whether that is really key. It protects the customers, and that is ultimate for us. I think you know about consumer protection. Yeah. I know the one for Zambia. They're my good friends. And yeah, it's important for us to drive this economy in terms of e-commerce. Everyone needs to be happy. The customer must be happy. The business, the PSP, the regulators, we all must do clean business without defrauding anyone else, without defrauding anyone. Of course, supporting integrations and innovations. And yes, once we onboard you, we will continue doing risk assessments so that you don't get out of hand. We've had cases where someone starts by selling perfumes and then they end up selling illegal stuff, depending on your market. Good account management and increased automation. Yeah. So finally, now the real finally. Is that the finaliest? So what's in it for us here? Just tap, tap, tap. So we are here for a number of things. Collaboration is one of them. We've seen quite a number of excellent providers at the stands. Proud to say that we are working a lot with, I think I've seen 3 or so of them, and others already have discussions with us to give better solutions to the market. So of course, you can also take advantage, learn best practices, and of course, please give us a declaration so that you can go home with and enjoy, make money. Come to DPO. We are here to support you all the way. Thanks. No questions. Okay, if you have just maybe one comment or so. Yes, please. Oh, okay, two.
Hi everyone, my name is Stella. I'm originally from Europe, but for the last 6 years I've been living in Southeast Asia and Africa, including Kenya, by the way. I have a question about QR codes. So, two use cases, one from Africa, another from Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, e-wallets are the same popular as in Africa. Yeah, let's say Carrefour or shoppers here in Tanzania. Yeah, people are, when they're paying, they're using e-wallet, for example, M-Pesa or whatever. Yeah, they need to enter till number, business something, some numbers, then confirm again, then amount, then, I mean, the flow is just so long. And let's say when I'm going to the shop, if there are two cashiers, one cashier with one person and ton of products, another cashier with 4 people who just handling just one water. I will go to the one with one customer with one product, because otherwise all of them, it will take at least 5 minutes for each of them to pay, right? Southeast Asia, the same e-wallets, they're using QR codes. You're coming, let's say there are 4 e-wallets in the country, yeah? Each of them, they have their own QR code. You're just scanning, automatically, everything pre-filled, you enter amount, confirm. That's it. Why Africa is not embracing QR codes?
Thanks. I think, do I answer? I give you a quick question? Yes, a quick answer. Yes, I think, to be honest, we have made it so hard for our customers. So hard. I think we are either too cautious, so we enter so many details. You know, for me to have M-Pesa or Airtel Money, I already got my KYC approved, right? So it's really just entering my PIN. If I enter my phone number, the KYC is already in place somewhere. Registered even by the Communication Authority, the government. They took a photo yesterday. And Tanzania loves photos, Your Majesty. So already you have my KYC as a customer. So I only need to verify the amount and the PIN. I agree, 100%. I think we are too cautious, too risk-averse. We really want someone to enter again their email. Then after their email, they enter their names. The phone number that's paying also needs to be entered. Why? I agree with you. We need to make the experience much better, much smoother, much smoother. I'll come to you.
So I'm thinking, what is the impact of lack of addresses? And there's so much fluidity in the African economy as compared to the West, because the phone number, the KYC had given can change every 6 months.
Do we have a regulator here? Anyone from government, Bank of Tanzania? Okay, no worries. But yes, we need to just calm down.
Hi, good presentation, by the way. I'm from Zambia, and I want to make a comment on her question. I think for Africa, what we're lacking is digital identity. Let's face it, when you look at Europe and Asia, even the airport flow is very different. In some countries, the moment you look through that security camera, it will track your movement in America, it will track your movement in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Spain, etc., etc. The reason that QR code will be seamless in Europe based where in Africa is different is because the moment you just scan, you've had the same SIM card for the last 25 years. In Africa, I can have 3 SIM cards with 3 different mobile operators. That's why our KYC is tougher, because I can be Chilekwa in Zambia and I'm also in Congo using my national registration card. I can be at the border processing a mobile money payment, switch off my phone, damage that SIM card, go to an Airtel Money mobile operator and claim my SIM card was stolen and get a replacement. I can have 3 phones with one name. That is where we need to go. So digital identity has to start from government, because once the regulator says no more multiple SIM cards, everyone will abide. Yeah, thank you.
Forward, but most of my questions, sorry, bear with me, I have 4 questions. And my questions are more inclined towards the challenges we have been facing in the fintech industry. So first and foremost, I'd like to touch, or rather ask you a question on the tap and pay option. So most of the time, if you have noticed, if you are in Tanzania and you're trying to use your card to tap, there's always a restriction of at least $50. Like if anything is above $50, you're not able to tap. But if you're out of the country and if you try tap your card, whether it's $500 or $2,000, you're able to tap securely. So my question is, first of all, when there is a limit to tap, it limits your number of transactions. Automatically, it discourages someone to use the tap option because they either think that the card is failing or perhaps the card doesn't have funds. But in reality, it's not about the sufficient funds or the inability of the card to be tapped. It's the limitation of the amount that is being set. So now that fintech is growing, because Africa was a sleeping market when it came to cashless futures. So now that we are waking up, that's why we have the summit here, because we're now looking towards a cashless future. What is the intention of the limit on tap if we are promoting tap so much? That's my first question. My second question is on the risk and fraud portion of this whole thing. So, like you know, as you have said, usually every transaction is monitored by the risk and fraud department. Let me give you an example of the challenges we used to face in Zanzibar, let's say for a particular hotel. Let's say I came from Europe and I've stayed in a hotel in Zanzibar. I checked out today, I did my payment, and the car is waiting. It picked me up, took me to the airport. And then DPO at some point is my payment processing provider. They've processed the payment, but the risk team comes to find out that the card that was used for that payment was stolen. And this money needs to be refunded back to the card. In this case, the merchant gets the hit. It's the merchant that bears the loss of that service they provided, and the payment was done, but the card that was used was stolen. And in that case, we have looked at it as if the merchant has no fault because they didn't know the card that was being used was stolen. So what happens in this case, like in the sense that fraud and risk is not on real-time basis. It's basically, we like to term it and say that fraud and risk is on real-time basis, but in reality, it's not. So what are we doing to mitigate that challenge and to see that we protect our merchants' services and products? Because I think that's a challenge a lot of PSPs are facing. So that was my second question. My third question is on the onboarding process. Like you said, you need KYC to onboard a client, right? So the risk team is going to check all the KYC to see that a client is approved to be onboarded. Now, a lot of players in the market these days, the onboarding process is 10 minutes, or let's say 20 minutes. I've worked for another PSP where we onboarded clients in 10 minutes, and we have successfully done it, and we've onboarded legitimate clients on board. So now that the onboarding process is shorter, and we are trying to even minimize the sales cycle, making it shorter, what we have been able to achieve is you can onboard a client, and the KYC would be checked later, under the condition that the funds will not be settled until the KYC is approved fully. Otherwise, the funds can be refunded back to the merchant. So is DPO really thinking of going on that onboarding process where KYC can be approved a bit later, but a client is allowed to transact as soon as they're onboarded? And my last question is on settlements and business to business. So initially, we used to have players that would allow international settlements to be done. A lot of businesses in Tanzania, we have foreign investors who have invested and they have their bank accounts abroad. They would prefer their money or their funds to be settled abroad. Initially, this was possible. And then Bank of Tanzania had a new law where you're not allowed to have international settlements being done because they want everything to be settled in Tanzania. So in that case, how do we mediate that challenge where we have people wanting their funds abroad while they are running businesses in Tanzania? Thank you.
Amazing. She needs to be a speaker.
So maybe we do this way. Are there any other questions from the audience so that we take them at the same time? Thank you, Caleb. Yes, thank you. We need a mic there. Do we have just this one?
Greetings, everyone. My name is Rene, and I'm a representative from Red Dot Enterprise. And my question to you, Sir Caleb. First, I have to congratulate you. It was a very good presentation. I really get to learn a lot of things which I wasn't familiar with before. But I have a question with you, and that is, how can we use, because we are all aware on how technology have been the reason on why our operations have been streamlined. And as we can see now, we have emerged to e-commerce. Before you used to do commerce, and now it's electronically. And there have been a lot of emerging technologies. We can speak of visual reality, mixed reality, cloud computing. But I just needed to know on how we can leverage the emerging technologies so that we can streamline our operation, improvise our activities, so that we can bring best results and performance in our activities. Thank you.
All right, so leveraging the existing technologies to improve what we're doing. I'll just ask the esteemed panelists to take their place, please.
Fintech associations need to put this case forward to increase the limits thereof, just like the mobile monies did. About insurance, payment PSPs are partnering with fraud engines to have fraud insurance, so that as much as possible, fraud engines take care of the liability that comes with chargebacks and disputes. And this is a solution that DPO is working with MasterCard to employ. For now, we have our own fraud engine that does it. It can really stop transactions. It can stop and say, you are not traveling until we clear you. But then, what if we clear you after the flight has left? Huge trouble. So it's a case of it needs to be faster, needs to be real time, and where it has failed, it needs to be a genuine fail, a lost card, a stolen card, no money, such things. So fraud engines together with a fraud insurance is the way to go. Finally, for real-time onboarding, this is something that is already, we implemented it last year. We call it real-time onboarding, RTO. And so how it works is, if you set up your account right now, you can begin receiving payments right now. Then we will verify your details on the go within 72 hours and tell you, okay, now you can no longer process. However, for what you have processed, we'll settle you to your mobile money or to we have a card solution which we'll give you, or a virtual card which you can then transmit your cash to PayPal or somewhere else where you want. Cross-border, that's a whole topic. That's a whole topic affecting the whole continent. I think Africa is really working on the, Afri-Exim Bank to allow cross-border payments of my Rwandese francs to Kenya, my Kenya shillings to Uganda, my Zambia kwacha to Malawi, even where there are no dollars. Because the hugest problem we have had in Africa is, or actually in the whole world, is all currencies have to go through the dollar, then they are transmitted out. Yeah, no beef for the dollar, but we need to get a solution as Africa to enable payments outside Africa and also to allow cross-border payments because we are a digital village. Thank you.